Jai Hind everyone. I am Rachna Singh Sisodia and I am Assistant Professor in Computer Science Engineering Department, Ajay Kumar Garg Engineering College, Ghaziabad. I hope you all are fine today. So in the previous lecture, we had discussed about the functions, and I'll conclude that function in short, and we will discuss more about the functions, like categories of the functions, how the functions are called, and many more. So functions, I will discuss that it is a block of code that is designed to perform the particular task. And if you talk about the syntax of the function, so it is defined as, it can be categorized in three parts: function definition, function call, and function declaration. So here we will see, look about the syntax of the function definition, function call, and function declaration. So in function definition, the first we do is the return type, then the function name, whatever the function we have designed, it could be any user defined function, and the arguments list that we also called as the parameters. Now function call, function can be called in any function when it is needed to execute that particular task, and function declaration is mentioned before the main function. We can say just after the header files section, right? The syntax of the function declaration is return type, function name, and the parameters, if any. So the question is like, do we need to mention always the return type, arguments list in function definition or function declaration? So on the basis of that, we will categorize the function in four parts, in which, first is function with arguments and return a value, right? If we design any function in which we will add some parameters to the function, and we will provide some return value to it. Second, we have function with arguments and no return value. It means the function we have chosen, it could be a user defined function, and the arguments is also provided there, but it is not required that it returns any kind of value, right? The third is function with no arguments and with the return value. There is the possibility of designing any function in which there is no need to provide any arguments or any kind of parameters, but if you want to return a value to the function, we can also mention to it. The last category is the function with no arguments and no return value. So this could be a syntax of the function, and the important part is that, okay, how we are going to choose the category. It depends. It is completely dependent on the type of coding we are actually doing here. That kind of the program. For example, if we want to design a user-defined function that is meant to find the sum of any numbers, so in that case, we have to return some value like sum, right, to the function where it is called. Okay, so we'll look all the categories one by one, taking some examples. So first we will discuss about the syntax of the all categories of these user defined functions. So first category is function with arguments and return a value. So the function declaration type is like, it should be return a value, so there should be a return type of that function. Okay, and with arguments means here we are providing a parameter to the function. It can be void, or we can say that if we don't want to pass any parameter, or if any argument is not needed, we will not mention here in, we will keep it as blank. So, and a function call is, in function call, we do not write the return type. We have already discussed in the previous lecture of the function session. And function definition is, here we have declare a function, and here the function is actually designed. So function definition is it is a return value. So int function, and it has a argument, and whenever we write here a return type to that function, we have to mention the some return value at the end of the of that code, right? Now, second, we have functions with arguments but no return value. Syntax is very much simple, that it has no return value. So we do not need to write any kind of the return type. So we can mention void. That means that the function is not holding any return type value, right? And functions with arguments. So here in the list of parameters, we can pass the any parameter to it that we are actually saying the arguments passing. Okay. Now the function call, the syntax of the function call is function of x, whatever the parameter is mentioned here. X is definitely an integer type of value, and function definition void because of this no return value. So if it is written void, so there is no need to write return any variable. So in this section we have mentioned that return x means whatever the calculation it is doing, it should be returned to some variable, right? And here the since this kind of category is kind of no return value, so no need to write this return x here, keep it as blank. Third category is function with no arguments, but returns a value, It means that just go through the function definition directly. Function definition is actually where the function is designed, and it contains complete code of that function for which it is designed, right? So int function, in this parameter passing section, nothing is written here. It means there is no arguments or there is no parameter passing to that function, but it contains some return type value. So if we have mentioned int, it should return some value at the end of the code after calculating the mathematical or any kind of logical kind of code. Fourth category is function with no argument and no return value. Means that any user-defined function can be designed in which if the user doesn't want to return a value, or if he or she doesn't want to pass the parameters to that function, so this is also possible. And again I am repeating the same fact that the selection of the category of the user-defined function completely depends on what type of code the developer is going to pick. Okay, so no argument, no return value. So no return value and no argument, just the block of code. It is not returning any kind of value to any variable. So let's move to the next slides, in which we will take some examples, and that will make you to understand easily the syntax and how actually it works. So the first example of function with arguments and no return value. So first just go through the function definition where the function is actually defined here. Okay. So here the function is defined. This is main function, and we know that the execution of the program starts direct from the main function. So here the user defined function is declared right just before the main function, and it is defined here. Actually it is made here, it is designed here, that int function int a int asterisk array. Okay, so here I have taken some kind of pointer variable here. So there are two actually parameters are passed to the function, and basically this function is has contained some array value, and there are 5 elements entered to initialize to it. Okay, so this is int function, int a, int asterisk add. So this is the example of with arguments. So argument is being passed to it. Okay, and return a value. So it is also returning a value, and here we are writing this return a, because this function belongs to the function with arguments and return a value. One thing I just want you to focus on the main function. Sometimes we write main function as void main, okay, and we just don't write anything return or something like that. Okay, but whenever we pick int main, it means it is also a function, and it returns an integer type of value. So we write here return 0 or return 1 or -1, whatever an integer value. Okay, just because to ensure that the given function in which it is written, that function is it is a kind of return type function. Okay, and main we generally don't pass any kind of parameters. Okay, so this is the very good example of the function with arguments and return a value. Just go through that part where the function is being called. So here the function is being called here. Okay, so this is the clear example of the function with arguments and return value. If you have any kind of doubt, so you can check my previous lecture, in which we have thoroughly discussed about the functions working, actually how functions are declared, how they are defined, from where they can be called. Okay, so you just take you can take help from the previous lectures. So the second example example of the second category is in which the function with arguments but no return value. So function with arguments but no return value. So we will check direct to the function definition part. So here's the function definition part. So no return value means it shouldn't be any kind of int. So we have written here void. So void, if you have mentioned here void, because it is no return value, it is in the category of that function which is not actually returning any kind of value after the execution of that block of the code. So we have not written here return 0 or return 1 or return any variable like x or return sum, anything like that. We have no need to mention at the last of the code. And the with arguments, yes, there are 3 arguments have been passed to this function. First is in integer, a variable, integer, asterisk ar, and integer type of array kind of variable, that is actually pointer variable, and char is again a string, that is the characters of the array of the characters here taken. Okay. Example of function with no arguments and no return value. There could be a possibility in which the code is to be designed in such a way that it shouldn't return any kind of value, and it doesn't need any kind of argument to be passed to that function. So the very good example of that is void main. Void main is you can also look to it that the integer that the return type is void, and it is not actually, there is no parameter passed to that function. So but we are just since we are talking about the user defined function, so here a function is being designed and the return type is void. So we'll check at the last of this block of the code. There is no need to return any kind of the variable or any kind of the value to it, and void means there is no parameter passed to this function. Simply it is calculating some I think SI, and it is also checking that year is less than equal to period, whatever the period is dedicated to that. So in that there is no need to return any kind of value. It's just the decision and the printing of some value. Okay. last we have example of function with no arguments but returns a value. So it returns a value. So we will check directly, move to the function where it has been mentioned. So returns a value. So sum is a kind of user defined function and it is returning some integer type of value. But if we focus on no arguments, so no argument has been passed it. The function is clearly declared here. This is the definition part, and since it is return type function, so we will return some value to the function, and the function is being called here and it is being assigned to some variable called num. So actually the sum of two given values, simply it is calculating the sum of two numbers, and it is after calculating it is returning some value to the function where it is called. Okay, so we are taking square root of a and square root of b and assigned to the variable sum. In functions, actually why, if we focus on the fact that why functions are required, so I would have told you in the previous lecture that function is a kind of a block of code which is once designed and can be used further whenever it is required, how many times it is required, in any function it is required. Okay, so if we want to execute same function or same piece of code again and again, so it is not possible to make many block of codes or many functions to call because it will increase complexity and it would be complicated for the programmer to create many block of codes and then calling to it many times, right? This is not the right way to develop such kind of codes. So in order to support such type of demands, recursion is required in C. So first we need to understand what is recursion and how they are executed, what are the problems occurred, what are the advantages when we use recursion. So if I just wanted to remind that loop that we were using, that for loop, and the syntax was I is equal to 0, I less than equal to any number, I less than, and I plus plus. Okay, and for that if we want to take out the sum, okay, so sum plus I. So simply if you want to take if you want to calculate the sum of some integer values, we do this. So this what is actually it is doing, that it initialize some value 0 like that, it will check some condition and it will execute the piece of code, block of code, and it will iterate. Iterate means this statement will be executed until this condition gets false, right? The one execution is happening again and again. So this is the little we can say a little example of the recursion, that to calculate the sum of some integer value starting from 0, we are actually recalling the statement for some condition. So recursion is actually that if you want to execute same piece of code to perform any particular task. For example, if you want to calculate the factorial of any given number, we need to take out the what we do actually, if you take factorial 4, we have to write 4 into 3 into 2 into 1, right? So in this way recursion will be useful to calculate such type of the repetition of the block of code. So recursion is the process of a function calling itself repeatedly. If any function designed to perform any task and that function only is called to it is called the recursion. till the given condition is satisfied. Now this is important here, till the given condition is satisfied. For example, if we want to calculate, right, if we want to calculate the addition of some number, of some positive integer, if I say, then what I will do, that if I start from 5, okay, so going back to that 5 plus 4 plus 3 2 plus 2 plus 1 plus 0, okay, so for that, if we have designed any kind of block of code and we have called to that function only to that inside that function, so it will keep on executing, it will keep on executing and executing and executing infinite times. So in order to break that chain, some condition is to be given to terminate the code. So a function that calls itself directly or indirectly is called a recursive function, and such kind of function calls are called recursive calls. So we'll look to the syntax given here, that here is the function name and this is the arguments, and this is the return type. Function is statements, okay, and base condition is mandatory to mention, because the function will keep on calling itself infinite times if the developer doesn't give the any kind of base condition to it. For example, if in factorial this code is to be terminated when it comes to 1, otherwise it will keep on going back and will take some zero number or some negative integer which is not valid if you calculate the factorial of any given number. So in factorial we just give the base condition that if it comes 1, right, so that condition is to be terminated, or that function is to be terminated at the same point. Okay, so here is the recursion case, recursion call. The same function is called to the inside the same function, that we can say that such type of scenario is the recursion, right? So how does it work actually? That here here is the main function, and we know that we know that the execution of the program starts from the main function. So let's take that the program starts here. Here the function call is given. The control will go directly to that function because recurse, and this is also recurse. It is defined here. Now in recurse, in this function, in this user defined function, we have again called the same function, this function only. Then the control will go to it, again it will go inside, again recurse, then the control will go to that function. So there'll become some kind of loop. It will keep on calling itself again and again, and if you don't provide any kind of base condition, so there will be the case of the infinity, and there'll be no proper utilization of the memory. It will take time. So these are the actual limitations of the recursion, and disadvantages of the recursion. So in order to avoid, we need to provide some kind of base condition. Here I have taken a beautiful example that is actually adding some number, and some kind of number. We'll understand it. If you will be able to understand this sequence, how the control goes from one function to another, so it will be easier for you to understand actually recursion, right? So this is the main block, and here some function is being called, right? Some number. So this is actually the user defined function in which some codes are given. We will look to it. For example, if the number is the value is passed as 3, okay, so it will provide this 3 to this number, okay, it will check that, n is not equal to 0, of course 3 is not equal to 0. What will it return? N plus sum, n minus 1. What does it mean? Sum, return m. N means what? 3 plus. This again is the function calling. It means that in this function, it has been called to itself, but this time the number value has been decreased. Earlier it was 3, now it is 3 minus 1, 2. So again function calling. So I have taken it in ladder form so that you can get easily understand this. Okay, the control will go to this. So let's understand with this sequence actually. Now the number will become 2. Okay, so 2 will be passed to the same function. Again it will check what, that n is not equal to 0. Yes, it is not, 2 is not equal to 0. 2 is not equal to 0, that is true. So if this condition is true, this block will be executed. So 2 plus sum n minus 1, this is again a function call. This again is a function call, and actually it is calling itself, calling to the same function. And now this time the number will be 1. Now sum n minus 1, the control will go to this the same function, and this time the number is 1. Again it will check 1 is not equal to 0. Okay, so yes it is. So return 1 plus some 1 minus 1, that is 0. Now this 0 will be passed to this function. Actually if we see that the calling is actually here, but I have taken in that sequence so that it becomes easier for you to understand. Right, now 0 will be passed to the function and n is not equal to 0. 2 minutes. So this condition will not be executed and it will return n. What is n here? 0. 0 is returned here, and here it will return 1 plus 0, then 2 plus 1 and 3 plus 3. So this is how the function recursion actually works. I hope you understand whatever we have discussed today. If in any doubt, you can contact me. Thank you so much.